15 countries just issued a travel warning for the US. Here,
I'm reporting live from the United States of Embarrassment. Yes, I saw the security alert, the travel.
A really crazy story about an experience I had at DIA, Denver International Airport.
So one thing that traveling has taught me is that America is ghetto.
If you don't pay attention to politics and you are in the UK and have a trip planned to the US, it is time to cancel it. First and foremost, there are all sorts of issues going on with the landing of planes in America and the taking off of planes. There's been all sorts of crashes over the past couple of years because they have defunded their air control. On top of that, there are major queues at all of the airports and genuinely mind-boggling delays because they've underfunded their TSA, which is their airport security. And to fix that, what they've done is they've taken their kind of immigration enforcement, the home office, the people that do raids, and they've put them in airport security. And these guys are freaking weird. They were the guys that shot 2 people earlier on this year. It's the same police force that is disappearing people, German citizens, freaking random people are being disappeared by ICE. Which, if you've not yet heard about ICE, no bueno. Very bad, not good. Kind of a entire rights violation on its own. So between all of that and the fact that you can be disappeared if you don't have an American passport that proves you're allowed to be there, even if you're a tourist, and the fact that they are having plane crashes because they are underfunding their air traffic control, please cancel your trip. The queues alone are bad enough, but going into America right now is a recipe for having something bad happen to you on a big enough scale. You may get lucky on the way in and not so lucky on the way out, and the way out is really the kicker. And if you think you're safe because you're white, there's not even that protection at this point, because if you do not have an American passport, even if you're a tourist, even if you have a valid visa, they can suspect you of all sorts. White people were getting detained by ICE. White Germans, who you would think are the people that, racist Americans would really love, they were getting detained by ICE. So having them at the airport, very dangerous. I don't doubt it will be safe to go to America at some point in our lifetimes soon, but now is not the time.
So one thing that traveling has taught me is that America is ghetto. Ghetto, 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 ghetto. And I'm not talking about the people. Because I will say, in all my travels, I've been to over 15 countries. I generally feel Americans are so, okay, this is a generalization, obviously. There's a lot of variety from Americans. Let me be real here. But the common American, I feel is so passionate. If you look at the talent, the music, I get the way we kind of captivate the world stage in general. I feel that is the American spirit that I am right now talking to. And that really, I haven't seen that really anywhere else. People always hate on Americans, Americans this, American that. But I'm we kind of built this. What? All that being said, America, as an institution, as a nation, as a system, is ghetto. We have so much capability that is lost because we don't have a welfare state. We don't have easy transport. We don't have interstate transit at all. It's called Amtrak, which I didn't even know Amtrak existed until I moved to Chicago. So is that even really a thing? For real? We have so many aspects of American culture that are so nice. But when I go to other countries, I feel not only is it more embraced, but the system uplifts the people, while ours here in the ghetto America only brings us all down. Can you really imagine? No, I can't even imagine it. What if we actually had a united country? Bro, America would be so tea, bro. What? And not only that, the diversity of Americans too, anybody can be American. Well, anybody can be anybody, duh. But there's so much variety in our country, and I feel that beauty is lost because of how, guys, it's just so heartbreaking. Every time I go to another country, I'm just dang, if only America could. If only America had. If only we didn't have fucking GMOs in everything we ate, bro. If only we didn't have high cholesterol, because that's what they feed us. If only we didn't have food deserts. If only we had proper education. If only we had affordable, quality education. If only. And the thing is, it's not even like we don't have the ability to do so, because we have all of our peer countries doing this already. Like, every time I look at the country, I'm like, dang, I do not want to come back. But I'm like, family's here, friends are here. I love, once again, the American spirit in and of itself. But America as a country, ghetto. But wow, traveling will really open your eyes to what can and could be. Because imagine, like, walk with me. Imagine America as the people are right now. We're gonna fix some of them though, because we gotta curve some of our edges. Equitable, quality education for all children, who some of them might have to fail. We might have to leave them behind to retake a class, but when they retake it, they're going to come back better than they were if they had just passed the class, just to pass it. I'm talking to a certain president. Quality education. Quality food. The organic aisle is the only aisle. There's no that GMO fake stuff. Healthcare that's actually equitable for all people. The billionaires and trillionaires actually paying their taxes, so those in the bottom can be lifted up as a collective society. Public transit, affordable, accessible, and widespread. All those things are possible, but we don't have that, bro. I can name 5 countries that have almost all of those things. They're gonna say, Jennifer, racism. You didn't bring up racism. Everywhere is racist. Every country, every society, every culture, racism exists. Y'all can't name one, and I mean y'all can't name one single one that is not racism. So we should be fighting that. That is an obvious issue. And in every single one of the steps I just listed, racism will be attacked and discussed, because it's all connected. Like, bro, our country's so ghetto, and it literally is ghetto by choice. You're ghetto by choice. It's so disturbing. Anyways, I'm leaving America. They know what they need to fix, and when they fix it, I'll be back. But until then, clock, the countdown is ticking. Bye.
I'm going to tell you all a really crazy story about an experience I had at DIA, Denver International Airport. And this is just like a forewarning. If you're someone who travels through DIA or any airport alone, listen up, be aware of your surroundings. It was one of the scariest things in my life. A lot of my friends and family know about this story, but figured it's time to share it on the internet. This was about 2 years ago. I was home visiting family for the weekend, and I was traveling solo. So I had a red-eye flight leaving out of Denver going to Tampa on a Sunday evening. I got dropped off at DIA around 11-ish p.m. And all was fine. Airport was empty. And if you ever fly at night, like, you know, the airport at that time is desolate. There's no one there. No stores are open. No restaurants are open. There might be like a Hudson News open where you can get a candy bar. Like, that's it. There's no one there. There's no extra employees there. It's the bare minimum, okay? And DIA is no exception to that. So I go to what I think my gate is. It turns out my gate had changed and I didn't know. So I was sitting at an empty gate. I thought that was a little weird, but I still had like 2 hours before my flight. So I was like, oh, I'm probably just really early. I was sitting there. I had one AirPod in, and I was sitting in the seats. I was at the gate sitting in the seats closest to the window because I was watching all the airplanes take off. I had one AirPod in. I was watching TikToks, listening to podcasts, whatever. Before you know it, a gentleman comes up and he stands directly in front of me and asks where I'm traveling to. Within 30 seconds, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, he pulls out a cigar and lights it in the airport. And suddenly I'm like, red flags everywhere go up around me. I'm like, who does that? Like, I've never seen anything like that. This guy like clearly didn't care about anything. And he begins to ask me, he goes, where are you traveling to? And again, my guard's up now. So I'm like, oh, I'm not giving this guy any information. And I'm starting to scan my surroundings, like who's around me, what's around. And I tell him, oh, I'm just traveling home. He goes, where's home? I go, oh, a different state. He goes, what state? And I go, I don't feel comfortable sharing that information. I hope you understand. Like, I don't tell strangers where I live. And he goes, what were you doing in Denver? And I go, visiting family. And he's like, okay, so where are you going? And I said, home. And now I'm getting really nervous. Now all of a sudden another person comes in, another man, and sits 2 seats away from me. Again, we are the only people at this gate. There's not a person as far as you can see. And the guy that comes over and sits next to us goes, "My friend was asking you where you're traveling to." And I go, and I told him, I'm not saying anything. Now I'm starting to get like choked up, like I can barely talk because I'm so nervous. Within 30 seconds of that, I kind of blacked out during this period. A woman comes up behind me. So I am now trapped. There's a person right here, and this woman like back here. So they're all around me. The guy's still smoking a cigar, mind you. No one's around for as long as you can see. I was flying Frontier, so if you're familiar with the Denver airport, Frontier's, it's like whole own thing. This was before Frontier's new terminal, but even before that, Frontier's so far at the end of the airport, like you're truly so far away from everything. So the girl comes up behind me. "My friend asked you where you're traveling to." Says it just like that. They're getting angry with me. And I said, "I'm not saying anything." I start to pack my stuff up. They're like, "Why are you so nervous? Where are you going? What are you doing? Answer a question." The guy next to me, "Aren't you going to answer my friend? It's not nice to not answer him." I'm freaked out at this point. I'm like, something nefarious has happened. Like, this is very, very, very bad. I'm packing all my stuff up. I'm taking my headphones out. I have like 911 on speed dial at this point. Like I have it typed in my phone. I'm texting my mom and dad. Something's going on at the airport. I'm trying to call my husband. It's 1 a.m. in Florida, now 2 a.m. in Florida, so he's not answering. I'm freaking out. I'm sending voice memos to my best friend of what's happening. And I'm just like, "Hey, around these people, I feel uncomfortable. I'm at DIA. This is what terminal I'm at." They could hear me saying all this. I didn't care. I'm like, if something happens to me, I want people to know exactly where I'm at. I get up and I start walking away, and the girl grabs my arm and she goes, "I need you to come to the bathroom with me." And I said, "I'm not going to do that." And she goes, "Please, I really need your help in the bathroom. We're women. We help each other out." And I said, "I don't feel comfortable doing that." She was insisting I go to the bathroom with her, has my arm grabbed. I said, "Get off of me, don't touch me." They're all following me, wrapped around me. They're like, "Ma'am, why don't you just answer where you're going? It's not nice to ignore us." They're being so weird. I rip out of her arm and I sprint down the airport. I went to Frontier. I told them what happened. They kept me safe. They got an air marshal involved. It was this whole thing. And they're like, "You did the right thing. This seems like you were being targeted." They were able to look up cameras where these people had been following me since basically the second I entered the airport, which is terrifying. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they had like, fake plane tickets. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I don't remember. I genuinely blacked out, but I know that like an air marshal ended up getting involved. It was this whole thing. It was terrifying. And the people at DA, they were like, "Of course, like we can't confirm what was going on, but you were being followed." And that's enough reason to suspect that something fishy was happening. So be aware of your surroundings. All that to say, especially if you're traveling alone, be safe. And I know that like for myself personally, I've now made a rule, no traveling alone at nighttime. So yeah, just stay safe out there.
Thank you, Donald Trump. A number of countries now have issued travel advisories and warnings to their citizens, telling them to be careful and wary of travel to the United States because of problems travelers from their countries have had in the United States. And these countries are our friends: the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, Denmark, and Finland, for example. They've all had many, many, many of their citizens in the United States detained and having travel problems. Donald Trump, you and your brilliant advisors do know that the international travel to the United States is almost a $50 billion a year business, correct? You do know this, right? And you do know this is causing people further not to come to the United States. And many countries have people already boycotting us because of your policies. For those of us that are involved in the travel industry, which is many people throughout the United States, it's not good. Whether you own in a hotel, you rent a car, you have an Uber business, airlines, restaurants, everybody that sells anything, all the theme parks, you name it. It is not a good thing to do. Now, we didn't have this problem before, but we have it now. So again, love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. If you're in an area that obviously is heavily involved with travel and tourism, or even to some degree, it impacts everybody. All this impacts everybody. All of these policies impact us throughout the country, whether you directly or indirectly make money from it because it causes other people to have money to buy at your business and wherever you work. So it's not a good thing. Thank you again, Donald Trump.
More than 70 airports across the country could shut down next week, and no one is really talking about it. Newsweek published this last week, and no one is talking about it. Sean Duffy gave a list of small hub airports that are at risk of shutting down due to the TSA issues. And some of these closures are going to leave certain regions, like New England, with one major operating airport, Logan. I'm going to show you the full list and take a screenshot. There are more than 70 of them, so I'm going to get out of the way. You have some pretty big cities here: Birmingham, Huntsville, Fairbanks, Phoenix, even Bradley International Airport in Connecticut. Moving on, we have airports like Key West, Savannah Hilton Head, Guam, Hilo International, Des Moines International. Here's the next part of the list. Go ahead, and there's Rhode Island TF Green International Airport. That's a major hub and a big alternative to Logan Airport in New England. And closing out the list here, this is the end of it, including Spokane, Jackson Hole, Midland International, and even in the US Virgin Islands. If even half of these close next week, this could be devastating for air travel in the United States because it's going to have a cascade effect across the country and perhaps internationally. You saw international airports there, so please keep a close eye on this. I will keep you updated.
Pick up the phone. I'm reporting live from the United States of Embarrassment. Yes, I saw the security alert, the travel alert for the United States of Embarrassment and its citizens that are traveling abroad, especially in the Middle East, because of the workings of the Dollar Tree dictators administration and their fucking up bullshit. Also, TSA is set to come and just be stupid. Not TSA, I'm sorry. ICE is set to go to airports and be stupid and check for IDs, make sure you have your IDs, be on alert. Like, if I had to travel for work, I would be so annoyed. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that are traveling, be safe, be mindful, but say what you gotta say. You are not, you still have freedom of speech. Don't forget that. Okay, bye.
European countries just issued a travel warning for the US. Here's what my clients need to know. Germany, the United Kingdom, Denmark, Finland, and Canada have all issued travel advisories warning their citizens against travel to the United States. Let me be clear about what this means for my clients. If European countries are warning their own citizens about arbitrary detention, what do you think that means for immigrants and non-citizens who live and work here every day? Based on verified reports, these advisories cite concerns about stricter U.S. entry rules and increased risk of detention for visa violations, including overstays or false visa visit purposes. This is creating a chilling effect on international travel. Experts estimate that tourism could drop by $22 billion because people are genuinely afraid to visit America right now. If you're a green card holder or visa holder considering international travel, think twice. The current enforcement operations are more aggressive than normal. Here's what I'm telling my clients. Unless you absolutely must travel internationally, consider postponing trips. The risk of denial of entry or detention at borders has increased significantly. Save this, because when allied countries are warning their citizens not to travel to the United States, we need to listen up.
California is the fraud capital of America. And while everyone's focused on Minnesota right now, you need to see what's coming out of California because it is absolutely wild. According to lawmakers and the state auditor, California taxpayers have lost tens of billions of dollars to fraud and mismanagement under Gavin Newsom. Just look at the numbers being shared. $32 billion in unemployment fraud, $24 billion in homeless funds that are listed as lost. We don't know where they went. $18 billion spent on a bullet train that doesn't even exist, and another $650 million wasted on a scrapped 911 system. And that's before you even get into the Medi-Cal fraud, the CalFresh fraud, which the California state auditor has now flagged as high risk. What's wild is the 8 different state agencies are officially labeled as high risk for fraud, waste, or management. And that number has doubled during Gavin Newsom's time as governor. If this were happening in a private company leadership, they would all